So I hope everyone joined last session. Anyone who is attending the first demo, please let me know so that I can guide you what we discussed in the last class. I hope everyone joined last class. All right. So we discussed in the last class a few basic things about BA. What is BA exactly, where we use this BA? What is the Azure? And the process of converting any format of data into a proper decision-making data. That is the main work that we are going to do in the real time. So whatever the format that we have, that format we will be converting, processing into meaningful information. Okay, so by using a different Azure services, with that services we are doing end-to-end project in a BA, end-to-end BA project. Okay, so in the last session, few things we discussed about the concept. So I told the currently running batches in our institute. We have a fabric right now is going on 7 a.m. Then 8 a.m. again there's a fabric. Then this batch is planned for a 9 a.m. the Azure batch. And there are a few members already got confirmed, and we are looking for people who are interested. You can join on 9 a.m. So evening batches are like Azure MSB and Fabric 1-to-1. Okay. So before starting with Azure concept, you just required few things. Okay, you don't need to install any manual tools, guys, in your local system. Yes, definitely. Later, if you want SSMS, SQL Server, you can install it, not a problem for practicing purpose. So initially, to start with this Azure, we required only one account, that is Azure account, and that is nothing but a subscription. Another one is internet, and your is system. With this system, we can have internet and one subscription. The subscription are two types. Microsoft giving you for a free subscription, free account, which is Microsoft providing you 200 USD dollars, guys. Okay, almost like as I said, 17,000 rupees or credits in INR, which Microsoft giving you the account type. You cannot withdraw this amount. This amount is something to purchase these services in the cloud. You cannot pay from your pocket. This is like a marketing strategy, because anyone want to work with Azure, first they need to understand the process. Any companies want to work with Azure, first they need to understand what is that. Until you go and elaborate the service, you may not understand the comparison between Azure and the AWS and GCP, Google Cloud. So how flexibility, I told you in the last session, always Microsoft target the people with a low code and less code process. Any non-technical people can be easily able to work with this Azure, Microsoft Azure. Not only any Azure about Microsoft, you take any component. Always it target the GUI as well as the code. Is your choice. Which one you want to convert, we can convert that. So to start with this, at least one student account or a free account, or the companies which we use pay as you go. As from institute, we will be showing you from the free and as well as pay as you go. Mostly I work with the pay as you go. I'll show you that. Okay. So what is actually the requirement is, guys? Okay. Before developing anything, this is the entire project we need to develop. See, when you see the graphical picture, graphical solution, if you understand graphical solutions, what actually these pictures give you means it is something like databases are there. Then we are connecting some data factories, ETL, scanning the data, converting the data into the proper and arranged data. The data we are storing in some databases, and every day we are developing some reports, and that is to share with multiple platforms. This is to multiple platforms. This entire work we have to do it the end-to-end process. You are not should be work only on this Power BI side. You also have to work on this other hand, the other side. Without having the data, without making this proper data, you cannot implement the reports. You cannot implement the reports. So we are not only strict to this platform, we will be working the data engineering part complete. Not only we are working on these modules, we will work even the reporting module also. But we will focus on more development rather than reports. So when you go inside this component, when you go inside this picture, what you will see. So this is my inside the picture of your data factory. Inside your data factory, what we need to understand, the connections, the data set activities. So before going to this, what exactly is my requirement? So this is one of the case studies, guys. One of the case study. I just added a case study here. We will do this case study. What is this case study actually? Can anyone explain me by seeing this picture what actually we are doing here? What you understand by seeing this picture? Simply, your manager will take into call and they'll ask you what you understand with this picture. What is your work here to do? Anyone understand by seeing this picture what we are going to do now?
The thing is like we are extracting the data, first part, from the blob storages, like wherever the SQL server, we are copying that one. And the copy and transform is like that. If you want to do any calculations inside the pipeline area or whatever in the ADF side, so you're doing that copy and transformation, you're implementing the logics over there and updating to the SQL database where you will create some SQL table. We need to create the like an outbound structure also based on the what are the input of the data you are getting, and you are creating some outbound structure. In that one, you are placing the data. That means you are storing the data in that SQL database. On the database, again, you are going like a visualization. You are creating a dashboard for the reporting purpose.
Exactly. So this is by seeing the picture, we understand that we are going to extract the data from Azure storages with the help of the ETL platform. And this data we are storing in this database. But why we are storing the data in the database is the second question. Your manager will ask next question is why are you required to store the data in the database? So my data is in this file. Example, let's take this is my data. You have a country-wise data, country-wise sales. This is your data. Why can't you do the analysis here only? Why you require database? Why you require ETL? Why can't you do the analysis here only? What is the purpose of loading the data into the database? What is the reason? Anyone know? What is the reason why we are loading this data into the database? Okay, database is a storage account. We are storing the data in the tables. But why? What is required? Why can't you do the analysis here only? You want country-wise cell, I'll do the country-wise cell.
The
You
thing
want
is, like, here one example I can let you know, like from the source or from the blob storage, wherever you are taking from Azure or from external systems, we are extracting the data like a raw data. For example, if you take a master data, transactional data, whatever it may be. So when you are going for a visualization, you can do the calculations, whatever the required to do the different types of the calculation in the data visualization. So for that purpose, we can store the data in the target structures.
so what may be the calculations here?
Like, for example, if you are creating on
Some
one table, if you are creating a different reports, one report you are seeing based on the country, or one
classification.
report you are seeing based on the employee ID. So based on that, you can do any number of, based on this example, you can do different types of dashboards you can create.
Okay. So main calculations is like we can do any type of calculations when we load in the data in the
Yeah,
tables.
we can do two different. One when you're loading the data, and one we can do when you're doing a visualization.
Correct. So If without having that also I can do in the Excel. If you want these calculations, I will do here only. So you want the country wise data, I'll give you country wise data. You want country wise employees, I'll give you country wise employee. You want sum of salaries of these employees, I will give you sum of salary. You want count of this employee, I can do the count. You want to see the visualizations, I'll give you visualizations. What type of visualizations you want to see, I'll give you that level of visualizations. 2D, 3D, 4D, whatever the counts you want, I'll give you that.
But this Excel is like a manual thing, right? Every time, but we can't publish this one.
Exactly. That is what we need to bring into the Azure cloud to do the automation process, not to do any manual work. Not only today we are getting this data, tomorrow you will get a Parquet format, JSON format, raw format, temporary format, databases, other servers. We get the data from anywhere. Now we are in the real world that data may come from any place. So not only you need to focus on this data, CSV, TXT, that is gone. Now the market is Parquet. Now the market is JSON. The market is XML. So these are the data that we're going to work, unstructured, semi-structured documents. So it is very difficult to do the process in the last stage. So this people is very difficult to understand such formats of data to this team. That is what we are here to do the modeling part. We are the chef who cook the data and provide the data to this. These people will serve with a graphical way to the end users. But this job is also we are doing nowadays. There is no job for Power BI because these people only doing this their job because they have good grip on the data. They have a good grip, they have a good knowledge on the entire process. They only doing this process. They are doing this kind of reporting side. Not only this type, they're also working on this module. So that is what have jobs on this process. If you want to go this process, then you need to understand at least knowledge on this one, where you can at least survive in the interview level. So that is what the market is done for Power BI reporting. Any report, not only Power BI, I'm talking about any side of reporting tool. You are not only to be strict on this one. You are in the AI world now. Still, because of our even the co-pilot is there, your work is not going to do by any AI. Your software jobs are gone, complete gone. Wherever the code is gone, now we need to implement now. Our jobs are still alive because of there is no AI here. Now still you can survive, as I said in the last class, at least 10 to 15 years to come. That entire process to adopt by your AI. But no option right now. You need to implement manually. Everything you need to develop from scratch. If I want AI to do, they are not going to do that. So that is the reason there is more jobs on the data engineering side. Why less job in the software engineering job? Because one software developer can do everything. The code related Java, .NET, C Sharp. One person, if you hire, he will do everything because AIs are there. AI will write the code, everything. But here there is no AI. That is the advantage right now we have in the market. If you go further level after 10 years or 12 years later, we will be having a full grip on this one. And add on, we will learn the AI. What is the new AI? We will learn that. But right now, get into the market, get into the job, get into the company first. Understand the company process, understand the company how they are working it. So this is how the one case study is there. So the same case study I will show you in the Azure cloud how we are working, and I'll show you my real time work after the class. Okay, let's see how to develop this one. So simply, instead of doing this manual work, these jobs are gone earlier. That is the reason we came into the automation process. The on-premises jobs completely gone. We need to adopt the cloud where we need to do the automation process. Okay, once again, All right. So let's implement how to do in the Azure cloud. So before starting with this Azure, you need to have a basic account. Okay, you need to have basic account. So where is that account? Let me go through that account. So you required only one portal. Entire your project you are going to work under this portal only, guys. There is no hidden portals which I am going to show you in the class or which you see or you work in the real time. Only this is one portal. The subscription may changes. If you want to see Amazon, Netflix, there is only one link. There is only one app. But their subscriptions are different. If you use one subscription, only one member can able to access. If you use two users, your pricing will be different. Two persons can be accessed. Here also, based on the subscriptions. If I use pay as you go, I can access everything. If I use free, I can use only within 200 US dollars. Okay, so let's see here. So login, go to the any browser. Just type portal.azure.com. Don't worry, I'm going to show you how to create the account, guys. If you people don't have account, I will help you on that. Okay, so don't worry about that accounts and all. Everything I'll provide you. Now see here. And don't worry about sir what all these options. It is very difficult me to explain you right now. These all options. In next class, tomorrow class, I'll explain all these options. Okay, we will need to learn from scratch. Directly I cannot explain, but the process what we are doing it, I'm explaining it. How it easily to work. You no need to install in on-premises. You have to install ETL tool, right? SSIS tool you need to install. Then you need to install SQL Server. You need to install SQL Server. Then you require license. Then you need to install Power BI desktop to design the reports. Then you need to have a storages. Okay, even if it is on premises, you need to have installation of gateways. This is all. You don't require this all. Very simple way. Let's come. So what we want, blob storage. So there is a storage account. So I'm just creating a storage account. Click storage account. What is your project? My project is Vinay Tech Demo Project. Okay, this is my resource group. Sir, what is resource group? Resource group is nothing but a container or a project name where you can add all your projects. Like nothing but your this is like a resource group. This is like project or resource group. Resource group like a folder. Inside a folder, you are adding these all softwares or services. You can say we don't call software in terms of Azure terminologies. We call resources or services or resources or instances. We call these three names or component also you can call. Don't call softwares here. Yes, definitely different softwares, but we call services, resources, instances. Okay. So what instances or service you want? I want Vinay demo. Okay, demo storage account I want. Okay, under where you are installing in the physical location called East US. It is not like in my system, it is not in your system. It in a company level, Microsoft company, their data center is in this location. I'm installing there. And what type of data storage you want? Blob you want or a big data you want? Big data workload. Anyone know what is big data? What is big data? When we call big data, name only understand, name only itself, name only big data, a huge data. 100 GB can we call big data? 500 GB can we call big data? 1 TB we can call big data. So there is a three things you need to understand under the big data. There is a three V's we have: velocity, volume, variety. Nowadays, the data may come from different velocity, different varieties, different velocity, volume, and these three V's when it is matches velocity, volume, and variant. That time we call as a big data. So just 1 TB, 2 TB, we don't call big data. Okay. So this is my storage account. This is like your Google Drive. In Google Drive, what you do, you store the images, photos, right? You will upload all the things. Here also I have a one folder called source log. One folder I created. Inside this, I can upload document, videos, audios from wherever you want. You can upload here. One file, two file, number of files. Any file you can upload and you can share with someone also. Is your choice. So here is my data. This is my data. Now this data we need to bring into analysis with all the operations. I created account, very simple way. I uploaded the file. So you no need to upload the files will be uploaded automatically by application or somebody will work on these files. Now we will create the data factory, next service. So I'll go to the home again. I will search here as data factory. Very, very important tool, guys. If you know this tool, lot of jobs here. I'll show you the offer letters also. So many people are asking in Azure called data factory only. Other cloud developers are also coming only for data factory in Azure. So very, very important tool this is. And very simple, only three things are there. Okay. So in the same project, Vinay Tech demo project, inside this, I'll type Vinay Tech ADF test. Okay. So review and create. My data factory name is Vinay Tech Data Factory Test. And very, very important tool, guys, this one. In Azure, if you know this tool, lot of jobs on this, lot of jobs. On the fly, I'm not saying because of you can see the batches are going on, the requirements, many students, even in my company also, I referred many of the people from our institute. Even in my batches, whoever is working, many people are joined for interviews. I'll show you after this class complete, I'll show you, don't worry. Okay, see, you are just deploying it. Its success, failure, who is working behalf of you at backend, we don't know. Microsoft is taking over that. But in your, if something is failed because of some softwares, that is your problem in your on premises. You need to upgrade first that software. Some .NET is not updated. You need to update first. You need to do that in on premises. But here, Microsoft is taking about backend everything, the compatibilities. So here you just applying like a form and you're submitting it and you're saying that, sir, so and so configuration I want, just implement. See, one storage account is ready, one data factory is ready in this project. This is a studio. This is a very, very important studio, development studio we call. We call development studio. Here you going to work entire process, entire work. Only three tabs. One is that development. What you develop, you can schedule, and what you develop, you can manage. Three tabs, only three tabs. If you understand, that's more enough. That's more enough. One is development. This is not going to do development by your AI. You have to develop, you have to think the process, when to use full load, when to use delta load, when to use incremental load. This is not going to do by your AI model. So this is not going to do by your AI model. Yes. There is a, you can schedule here, you can manage connections. Now, why I'm telling this ADF is a powerful, I'll tell you now. See here, new connection, new source. Can you see this many sources that we have in your Azure component ready to use these connections, which is even we don't know these storages. We never heard about the storages, but still we have those many sources, including your Azure Fabric as well, Microsoft Fabric, warehouses, lake houses, right? Now we are in the generation of lake houses. Anyone know what is a warehouse? I given you people as like this difference. In earlier 90s, now also in some systems we are using data warehouses. Now also we are using data warehouses. Not like warehouse is not working. We also using warehouses. What is a warehouse? Warehouse is something like we are pre-planning it. What we want in the reports, we are pre-planning it. Sir, what I want to show in the report, tell me. First, we will pre-plan and accordingly we will design our ETL, design our data factory, design our SSIS model. We will pre-plan what data we require. Only that data we are extracting it and we are storing in the data warehouse. But nowadays, the data may be different formats. We cannot go every time the source have only one day data. We are staging or we are landing that natural format, the raw format in the data lake. Any format. Here we just storing the structure format. Here you store any format of data. That is called data lake. You can develop your AI models, you develop your ML models. You can load from there to data warehouses and you can generate the reports. Then what is a lake house? Lake house is a combination of the warehouse plus data lake called lake house. The delta layer we call here, delta layer, which enables the properties of data warehouse concepts, the delta layer. So right now we are using the data lake houses, but we will also going to see the data lake first. Okay, so that concepts we have here, we're going to see that as well. Okay, so there are different databases are there from where or whatever the sources are there. We didn't even know about these technologies, but you have as credentials, you can access this. But in SSIS, earlier systems, what happened? Anyone here who's worked on SSIS? Who worked on other tools, SSIS tool? No? Anyone? SSIS who are working on SSIS? Fine, no problem. So what the people are doing is they are using the SSIS doesn't have that level of handling this many of sources. They are hiring the third-party connections. There is Task Factory, Zappy are there. These are third-party extensions are there. 70 connector, they're giving you so and so price, so and so this one. They're giving you in SSIS extensions. Earlier we don't have this one, so they're providing these extensions. But not required the third-party tools now. Microsoft giving the beautiful tool called Data Factory. Why you will use third-party? Very high cost and no security. These all are third-party tools. Not required now. You just learn data factory. That's more enough. Not required any third-party tools. No company will accept the third-party tools. But when you want a requirement, we use the extensions. But here, data factory is overcome that. Okay. So let's see how to develop the pipeline. So what is the pipeline? This is my pipeline. Data loading from where? Blob to Azure storage to database table. This is my pipeline name. Data loading from the blob storage to database. And what you want to do the activity task? I want to do the task of data loading from the storage account to blob storage account to database in the table. So you see source is there, target is there. What is the target actually? Target is our database. We didn't create it, right? Let me create that also first. So again, I'll go back, home button, and I'm going to search Azure SQL database. To install SQL Server in your local machine, how it is very difficult. People are gone through the SQL Server in your local system. Sir, we need to first download. Tell me which download I have to install. These questions you'll ask me, right? But you have to do this one. Then only you'll understand the comparison between the on-premises process and cloud process. You need to download the setup file, the version of setup file. You need to go to this all step by steps while installing in on-premises. These are all steps you have to follow. Different type of versions, different type of editions with a product key. These are all steps you have to go, and you have to install largely in C drive. But here in single page, your project name, what is your database name? Let's suppose my database name is Vinay Tech or student database name, student database. Under which server? I'll create one server called Vinay Tech SQL server. This is my server, and where I'm installing again in location of east to west. So the admin name is Vinay Tech admin. Password to connect to the server. That's it. That's it. See, in one page. So let me notepad. Let me write this Vinay Tech SQL server. Vinay Tech admin, right? Vinay Tech admin is my user. See, in one page, I given the project name, student database I have given, server name I have given, development server, production server. Don't need to worry about guys this one. I'll explain you in tomorrow's class. Very, very important topic this one. I am selecting 1 GB. Later, if you want increase, you can increase to 2 GB also. Very simple. Okay. Local redundancy. What is a nothing but a backup. So backup means there is a different backups are there. Okay, we'll discuss that. Don't worry. So for now, what I did, account name, subscription name, project name, database name, I just provided, and I given 1 GB I want. That's it. Just review and create. See, it start deploying it. So how we can access this database? How we can write a queries? Where we write a queries? Anyone know where we write a queries? SQL Server queries? Which tool we use to write a SQL query? Select statements. Anyone have any idea? SSMS, one tool, Data Studio, another tool. Or sir, I don't want to install any tool. No problem. You just create in the cloud only. You work in the cloud only. That's it. Okay. Let's come back to the project again. Okay. So what is your source? My source is a storage account. So I'll click on new source. I will search here is my, where is my storage account? This is my storage account. Click continue. See, these are the different format that we need to understand. Parquet format in data warehousing, mostly people are, sorry, in the big data, we only using the Parquet format, Delta Parquet format, JSON format, regularly used format, CSV format. These three are regularly we used. Okay. So as of now, I'm just going with CSV, and this is my source storage account or data set. So connection I need to create. So how to create? Don't need to worry, guys. I'll explain that. So see here. So under the storage account, I created one storage account. If you observe, where is that storage account? If you observe here, the storage account we created it, right? Demo storage account is created. Under that, we have a service called binary large object formats data storage. Inside this, we have a file. So same thing we have to tell to the data pipeline that there is a container. What is a container name? This is a container name. Any folder are there? Subfolders are no folders, but there is a file. If you don't remember this one, just browse it. There is a container. Inside container, there is a file, country-wise file. That's it. Is the first row as a header? Yes, sir. There is a first row. There is no data. First row I am going to treat like a header only. So yes, tell that there is a first row as a header, and click OK. That's it. Your source is ready. You want to preview the data? Preview the data. See, data is ready. Where we want to load? We want to load in the database, which is getting deployed. So again, here we will create one more source. Our data is in the database. Which database? Azure SQL database. So I will search Azure SQL database. Continue. This is my table. My table is already there, right? So connection in the server, Vinay SQL server, database is student database, and server name. You remember I given one server name here. This is my server name, and the password. Password you need to provide. Then click on connection. So before that, let me add one security so that nobody can access my data. I'm adding nobody can access this data. Only I can able to access with my ID. So that is what I'm adding in the network. What is that? I'll tell you. Now let's come back to here, guys. Let me show you. Let me show you here one thing. Let me show you one thing here is how much GB you selected while creating 1 GB. You have a capacity of 1 GB. Can you increase the 1 more GB? Yes, definitely. There is a left hand side. Anytime increase and decrease the capacity. You want to increase 1 more GB? Increase. No, sir, I want 300 GBs, 400 GBs. Yes, sir, you can do that. Anytime you can increase or decrease and just simply apply. That's it. But can you do in on-premises? Sir, I required permissions, I required IT team, I required suggestions, I required infrastructure team. How big work it is. Just for increasing 1 GB because of my data is getting failed. Simply, I can see 2 GBs got increased. Now I'll test my connection here also. Test the connection in the data factory. It's throwing me error. Why it's throwing me error? Because of the password issue or any other issue, we will see that. Test the connection. Still is throwing me issue is showing me issue. Because of I didn't added my security IP and all, it is showing me error. No problem. Not at all problem. Test the connection once. It didn't add it yet. Why it is not added? If it is added, then you need to test. What is that error? Vinay database user link service configuration is correct. Make sure the sequence of a firewall allow or login failed user. What is that login actually? Let me go and see. My username is Vinay admin. Okay, this is the name only I have given, right? My username is Vinay. Oh, sorry, username I have given wrong. That is the reason. Okay, that's okay. There's an error. Easy, we can understand user-friendly errors. And do you have any tables? See, if you don't have SSMS, you can log in here only. Click on OK. Do you have any table? If you have table, you create a table. If you don't have table, sir, I don't have table. Please tell me how to create a table. Yes, just click on DBO. and click on customer table, student table, whatever the table name. It will create automatically. No, sir, I want to create a structure, a student data, the student name, that is a S name, then student ID, sorry, student ID, student name, then the amount, the fees paid, then the country which from where it is coming. This information I want. This information I want to create. Only 4 columns. Student ID, student name, student amount, and is coming from which background. Is coming from which background. Can you see the data? Any data? Any data? No data. Here I need to load. And I have to manage my aggregations, the operations, my reports, everything I'll do after transformation. Now can you see? Can I have data? Let me refresh. I just created one table. Let me refresh. Student data. This is the table. Okay. So the next is I want to insert the data. Okay, we'll discuss these all options. These all options I'll discuss, guys. You don't need to worry because in 1 hour class I cannot complete everything. So just give me some time, guys. In the regular classes, we will discuss all these options. What is full load? What is incremental load? What is upset procedures? Everything I'll cover, including basic sequels also I'll cover. Okay. So mapping is very, very important. Why mapping? Because the source columns are different, target columns are different. We need to tell that I need to load this data to here. I need to tell this data to load to here. That is the reason SID to EID, employee name to E-name, a salary to this one, country to country is already mapped. Now we are ready now. We are ready with our development. We are ready with the development. Will it do your AI this one? Will it understand the AI? Employee to mark only SID. Employee to employee can mark easily. By country to countries mark. But this is we have to do this manually. Okay, validate once and let process execute. Let's execute. So I know there are many people here who come from non-technical background. So definitely I'll take from scratch. People who already know, they may feel bored. People who don't know, for them also, for people know also, I'll take from basic so that you'll get a brush up your basic concept. Okay, basic is very, very important because my classes are like from basic to it will go to the higher topics. That is the complex topics. Slowly will increase the complexity of the development. Today we develop the basic things. Tomorrow we will develop with a case study with requirement. So today I explain the copy data activity. Where exactly we use this copy data activity? What is the use of this copy data activity? Slowly will increase the complexity of our development. Okay. All right. So data is success. You can see the picture. Azure storage account, which is move the data to this one. It is read only one file, which is records are 68 records written in the 68. It took the duration of this one, and this copy data activity or this one is charging on data integration unit. Okay, no problem. What is that? We'll discuss that. Okay, first I will see whether the data is successfully loaded or not. I will verify here. 64 record you were saying, is it loaded? Yes, I can see no data. SID, S name, fees amount, and salary. Can I see the aggregations now? In Excel, we did aggregations. Where is that aggregations? These aggregations we did, right? Same aggregation. If I know basic SQL, I can write the query also. Sum of what I want, sum of fees underscore amount as my revenue generated for my institute. Then the counts of employee ID, that is student's ID, as counts, then followed by the country. Okay, there is the issue with the name. What is the issue with the name? Fees amount, fees, spelling is mistake. Yeah, spelling is mistake. See, blank, we have a blank also. Blank is like 9, how much it is? 98688, sorry, 98668. 98668, 4 counts. Canada, 8 counts. India, 19 counts. So this is again not a graphical way. Please do this automation. Yes, I will only do this automation. If I want, I can do here. Otherwise, now I'll go to my reporting tool. That is the desktop, Power BI desktop. I will design first here the blank report. I will first design the blank report. Where is your data? Our data is in cloud. Data is in the cloud. Which cloud it is? It is Azure, Fabric, some other cloud. Data is in the blob storage. Yes, it is there, but I don't want to take. This is not a transform data. It is a raw data. My transform data is here, and many transformations I need to apply. I didn't apply any transformations, but at least it is a clean data, somewhat. Okay. Let's connect to this Azure SQL database. What is your server name? My server name is, sir, I have a server name here. If you go overview, you will find your server name. Complete server name. Copy that. Use the clipboard. Don't select and copy, guys, in cloud. Because if some one word also miss, you will face a lot of issues. Copy here. It is giving you. And paste it. Your database name. This is my student database name. If you want, you provide. Otherwise, leave it. Not a problem. Import or direct query. Import means the copy of data you are importing it in this report. This is a reporting tool. It is not a ETL tool, guys. It is a reporting tool. This data in a Power BI desktop, we are just loading it. Similarly, in your Excel, from file to here, I copied. I am loaded here. Then only I did the analysis, right? Similarly, here also, we copied. We bring the data from here and we load it in the Power BI because to analyze this data. See, we got student. I want to design some dashboards, some reports. Here I want to see the student country wise, their fees, total fees. And I want to see student wise, what are the employees are, student countries wise, their values and their counts. And I want to see the growth percentage. What is this up to reach? Then we can allocate the required information. Instead of that, I can do the pieces by each employees. Okay, see, we have a 4 count, 8 count for Canada, and this is like a drill through report. I'm not discussing any report, guys, here. Just I'm showing you. This is my drill through report. If in the moment I select on which region it is, Canada. The moment I see the Canada region, it's going to change the everything level. This is the easy way, UI ways. If tomorrow problem is somebody started your package, your one more friend is started this package, he don't know it is already executed by me. In the afternoon he come and started it. What will happen now? Data duplicate. Already 64 record was there. Again 64 record will be processed. So what is the problem now here? Your client will ask now. Your client will see the morning report was correct. He see in the mobile, he see the tableau, he see in the desktop. The report was correct. But after afternoon, after having my lunch, if I open the same report, showing duplicate. If I see my report, if I refreshed, I will refresh my entire data. What happened? Suddenly I open, it got changed. 8, 16, 20. Earlier it was 4, 4, 8, 10 was there. Earlier there was some 8 millions. Now what changed? Completely process changed. So this is your extra activities called ad hoc request, or your issues you need to work in the form of ticketing. You need to work on the failures part. You need to work on the fixing these issues. These are all extra activities. Apart from development, these are the activities you do. So who is going to work on this again? So they will raise, the client will raise now. Client will start raising this team. And they don't know. They only know how to design this graph and all arrangement. They only can see up to, okay, which data it is pointing. So they'll simply go to somewhere the connections. So recent sources, they'll go to the recent sources. Okay, it is coming from this one. Or he is good developer, report developer. He will go to some transform data. Where is the transform data? He'll go to the transform data. He will give you a proper understanding. So okay, where is the source? Here is source. He will double click. He'll understand. Okay, this is a server. This is the main thing. He will give you confirm this is the data is coming from the server. Then who is handling this data? The data engineering, sorry, ETL developers. Then I will do the changes. I will ask him, sir, I know this process. Just give me 2 minutes. I will change the process. I will just fix this issue. Now I will implement the full load. What is a full load? Full load nothing but truncating your table, truncate table before loading the data. That is nothing but a full load process. Full load process nothing but before loading the data. I just want to truncate the data, the whole data I need to load. So now I'm going to execute. That is called full load process. Similarly, there is a drawback with the full load. We go with the incremental load. Now see, there is a drawback. What is the drawback? In next class, I'll tell you what is the drawback. But at least my issue will fix now. For time being, my process is full load. If you run 100 times also, now there is no duplication. You run 100 times, there is no duplication. After my execution complete, I will ask the source team client, I will ask, please go and refresh now. Earlier there was 8, 16. Now I'll ask the client to refresh your reports. What happened? Sorry, it is on. Let me close this. Now I'll ask my client to please refresh now. Your data schema, whatever you want, you refresh it. Your counts will change now. From 15 to counts will change now. It comes in the original, what was there. In morning, you will get the original report. Who is fixing this? Power BI team is fixing this issue, or data engineering is fixing this issue. So that is the reason, if you know this report, the backend, what is happening, you also have to know this. If you are going for reporting, you also have to know backend what is happening, from where the data is coming. If the data itself coming in the file, then I will go to the backtrack. From here to other backtrack, I'll do that. And here, where is the source? The source is coming from here. Then I will go and I'll see in the source level why the files are coming like a bad records. I'll see the count of the file. Any transformations issues, or there is a logic issue, I'll fix that. So this is a data engineering process, end-to-end process we are doing it. Clear? Right? Till here we developed. So like this, we have a many requirements, guys. So this is just one requirement we have seen today. Like this, we have many other requirements like that. Moving a data from blob to blob to Azure we have seen today, right? This part we have seen. There are many such requirements like this. Going further, we'll discuss that in detail. Any questions, any doubts? So